Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that, let's be honest, touches almost all of us at some point, especially when we're growing up. We're talking about body image, self-confidence, and that constant, nagging feeling of not being good enough. Let's get right into it.
You know that feeling, right? You see a picture of yourself and boom, your brain zooms in on every single flaw. Or you're just scrolling through your phone and suddenly you feel this wave of insecurity wash over you. It's a feeling so many of us know. And it begs the question, why are we our own toughest critics? That's what we're going to unpack today.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll get a clear handle on what poor body image actually means. Then we'll dig into what's causing it and how to spot the signs. After that, we'll look at the very real impact it has on our lives, and, this is the most important part, we'll wrap up with a whole toolkit of real, practical ways to build a healthier way of seeing ourselves.
All right, first things first, what do we even mean when we say body image? Before you can start to fix a problem, you've got to know exactly what you're dealing with.
Okay, this is absolutely crucial to get. Body image isn't about what you actually look like in the mirror. Not at all. It's about your perception of how you look. It's the story you're telling yourself about your own body. And when that story turns negative, it becomes this huge barrier to feeling confident and honestly, just to enjoying your life. So where does that negative story come from? Well, it's almost never just one single thing. It's more like a perfect storm of pressures from the outside world and the thought patterns we have on the inside. I mean, just think about it. We are literally swimming in a sea of so-called perfect images. Every time you open your phone, social media, advertisements, celebrity culture, it's all pushing these incredibly narrow and often totally fake standards of beauty. It creates this nonstop environment of comparison, and that can be absolutely relentless. But it's not just what's out there. A huge part of it is what's happening in our own heads. If you're someone who already struggles with low self-esteem or is a bit of a perfectionist, you're way more vulnerable. It makes it so easy to hear one negative comment and just absorb it, letting it completely define how you feel about yourself. And of course, our day-to-day environment is a massive piece of the puzzle. Things like teasing from classmates, the pressure to look a certain way to fit in, or even comments at home, sometimes well-meaning, that put too much focus on looks. Those things can really stick with you for a long, long time. Okay, so we know what it is and we have a better idea of where it comes from. But how does poor body image actually show up in someone's day-to-day life? Let's take a look at some of the really common signs. The signs can be kind of subtle at first, but they are so telling. It might look like someone who's constantly putting themselves down, or maybe they start ducking out of things they used to love, like going to the pool or playing sports, just because they're afraid of being seen or judged. It's this pattern of avoidance and withdrawal. It's like they're slowly retreating from the world. And that retreat, it's not a small thing. The consequences of poor body image are serious, and they can create these ripple effects that touch every single part of a young person's life. This is why talking about this is so important. And just to be clear, this is not some small, niche problem. 1 in 4. Think about that. In a classroom of 28 students, that's 7 of them. It's a staggering number of young people all over the world who are unhappy with their bodies. It just shows you the massive scale of this challenge. The damage isn't just in one area either. It's a domino effect. Psychologically, it can fuel anxiety and depression. Socially, it leads to isolation. Physically, it can make someone avoid being active. And it can even hit their grades, because if you don't feel good about yourself, raising your hand in class feels like an impossible task. Now, I know that all sounds pretty bleak, but here's the absolute most important thing I want you to hear today. This is not a life sentence, not even close. There are powerful, practical, and proven ways to fight back and build a genuinely positive self-image. So, let's get into the good stuff, the solutions. We're going to open up a toolkit filled with real strategies, things that students can do for themselves, and things that schools and families can do to help build a much more supportive world. For you, personally, the power really starts inside your own head. It's about changing that internal voice. So instead of criticism, try affirmations. Instead of obsessing over how your body looks, focus on what it can do. Taking a break from social media, moving your body because it feels good, and writing down your thoughts, these are all real steps you can start taking, like today. In this, right here, this is the core of it all. It's a total game changer. It's about changing the very questions you ask yourself.
Shifting from how do I look to what can my body do is one of the most powerful mental flips you can make. It reframes your body from being just an ornament to being an amazing instrument.
And here's a super practical way to do that. A Strengths over Looks journal literally forces you to focus on who you are, not what you look like. By just taking a minute each day to write down a quality you have and how you used it, you are actively retraining your brain to find your value in something much deeper than a reflection.
But listen, this isn't something you have to do all by yourself. Far from it. Schools can be a huge help by cracking down on body shaming and promoting real inclusivity. And at home, families can completely change the conversation by focusing on healthy habits instead of weight, celebrating effort instead of looks, and just modeling what it looks like to be kind to yourself. Our environment can be a huge part of the solution. When you boil it all down, it really comes to this. The journey to true confidence isn't about changing your body. It's about changing your perspective. It's about accepting yourself from the inside out and actually valuing the unique things you and only you bring to the table. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. In our own lives, in our friendships, in our schools, how can we all make a conscious effort to shift the focus, to move the conversation away from just how we look and put it squarely on who we are, our character, our skills, our kindness? Because that shift, that's where real, lasting confidence is born. Thanks so much for watching.